Hey guys, Zidon here for Smite with a quick disclaimer for these Smite Combine videos. If you're looking for your typical weekend, happy-go-lucky, competitive, hyped-up caster tournaments, these matches and games might not be for you. The Smite Combine is intended to help players find teams and teams find players going into Season 2 for Smite. There's going to be a ton of analysis, and you can probably learn quite a few things by watching these videos, but they might not be the most exciting things to watch. Either way, guys, here they are. Enjoy.
Welcome back, guys, to the second week of the Smite Combine. Today is Europe. Yesterday was North America. Once again, I'm joined by Peckies, but this time we'll have Hindu Man on the mic. Weekend could unfortunately not make his return today. Hindu Man, welcome back, though. You were here first week.
Yes, I was. I watched some of yesterday as well. Tried to get involved where I could, but I couldn't make it for the whole time. But like you said, we're back to EU once again. And involved in this one, we're going to see Point Blank, Dandy on Nas, Sir Duckbot, What7, Happy Night QQ, Casper Q, Launch Truck, Azuna QQ, Dead's Immobiot, let's go with that, and Menatan.
Yep. So yesterday we saw a couple good players, I think, come out of North American Combine. Some returning players and some that we hadn't seen the first week. And this week we do have Dandy and Sir Duckbot returning. I believe Point Blank or Blanc was there as well. And Sir Duckbot, I think, was probably my pick for one of, if not the best mid last weekend.
Yeah, Duckbot looked really, really good last week. Although going into this week, we'll see how he's going to play again because he may not have been picked up by a team. He's trying a different role. He's known for the most part, Dennis, for playing a hunter role. He's got a very good at moves and cob. Okay. Probably one of the mains of EU in terms of the moves and cob role. So he's trying mid. We'll see how he goes again this week.
Yeah, I mean, last week he played mid as well, so I guess he's rotating over. I didn't know that he primarily was a hunter before. He played a Scylla, I believe, last week. Very well, but it was also off the back of a lot of his teammates' Thor play, so I'll be interested to see now that he doesn't really have that setup, see how he does in a situation where he has a more farm-oriented jungler like Kali, and we do see the mid-harpy invade coming out from Casper Q here.
Yeah, it's something that...
beginning. Sorry, go ahead.
It's something that, you need to do. He forced the reset here. He's going to go ahead and back off. It's kind of weird that they didn't elect to hog it right away by the blue team.
I don't know why Dandy didn't hog that. I have no idea why he let him steal that. He should have hogged it. Like, because I'm not a fan of that. They have double hogs, so their blue is pretty safe to begin with. I don't think they have to worry about the invade coming out from Nemesis Osiris.
Well, they don't have double hog. Chuck has
Smithers. Chuck doesn't have hog. Okay, well, I just noticed that. And that probably explains why he wanted to save his hog.
I mean, the double hog start as well is very, very useful for them.
Yeah.
I think overall, though, what could have happened if Launch Truck would have waited just a little bit on that speed buff, he would have been able to get level 2 to Casper earlier, which would have put him even further ahead. But by soloing it anyway, it does put the jungler ahead as well. So they've kind of shared the fact that they stole that camp.
For sure. And we're going to see... I don't really want to see the Chalk and Kali fight here. They're a little bit behind. I think this Nemesis should probably look to rotate here after clearing that wave.
Yeah, definitely. Well, she should be leaving the lane right now.
Yeah, there she goes.
I mean, they should have red buffs up as well. I don't mind her staying and then rotating with Osiris after one more wave and then going for red, but it looks like she's going to go into the jungle now and try to invade. I like this decision, trying to steal away, deny Kali as much as possible early on. So, I mean, she could potentially try and fight Kali at this camp if she waited around the corner.
Yeah, she could have sat there and waited for that a little bit, but she's going to elect to go mid, try to get a little bit more farm there. And now just sort of trying to feel out where the Kali's going to go and figure out if he's going to try to take anything else. But, I mean, the speed is gone. The duo lane started speed, so there's really not that option to go with.
Yeah, the Kali and the Yanas definitely need to be looking to split camps here. After this wave, they should go to red, and they just need to split farm pretty early now. This is the correct move, I think, for them farming.
I'm interested to see what's going to happen in this duo lane, because right now it's Rama and Sylvanas. The push power is really hard against this back as Apollo comp. It's just going to be interesting to see how these two hold out. At the moment, they're not taking much poke, but they are losing gold, obviously, by the tower push. We'll see how the gold evens out between the two, though.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly how you would expect this lane to go. There's no reason for it to go any other way. Ram's going to have a little bit better clear against Apollo early, and then Sylvanas completely outclasses that Bacchus and clear.
I think they're doing a really good job, though, of maintaining the lane pressure.
Right. You might be able to get a kill here, actually. He's used the ultimate already. Going to be able to bring him down. Hits 5 early. Yeah. That honestly, for me, that's a bit of a misplay from Point Blank than anything, just because he should have been aware that he was going to hit level 5 way, way before he was. And he just abused the situation and played it perfectly, did the Osiris, in fairness.
Yeah, I think it was just that the early XP lead he had allowed him to really bully that lane. And, you know, Osiris early, especially with Death's Toll, really beats other bruisers who start smithies simply because of how his attack chain works. And if you have to be aware of that in that solo lane, that you are going to get pressured early. Especially when you don't have Hog.
Well, camp's being contested. Looks like we're going to find Sylvanas and not going to get one. He could get picked up here, though, which is a bit of a problem. Lunchlock with the ultimate to slow him down. They should be able to continue chasing, but it doesn't look like Agni wants to join in. And now it could be red team who's got a spot above him.
I think that was the correct call from Agni. They do pick up first blood, but the Giannis Kali were rotating in. Great mez coming out from Apollo there. And I like that decision by the Kali and Giannis to basically ignore the Apollo and go straight for the free kill on Nemesis.
I expect a pause here as we've got a DC on the Chuck as well. Yeah, there we go. It was a bit unfortunate from Rom as well. I did the big because Rom accidentally went through a portal from the unstable from the through space and time from Giannis, and ended up across the side of the map and was more out of position than when he really should have been. But we're back in again, as you can see. Chuck's back online, so continuing on. I think that was just risky more than anything for Sylvanas to try and contest those.
I agree.
I
think
it was
she
very
should,
wise for him to do that.
especially Sylvanas, who doesn't have an escape. Like if you have maybe a Bacchus, not really so much an Athena, but I think like the Bacchus is the type of god that you want to see try and steal mid camps. With Sylvanas, you have no way to get in there, and once you're in there, you can't really get out. The Agni backed off, which I think was the correct call, but then he elected to come back in after the fight turned around, and it wasn't even in their favor. So
yeah, I mean,
he should have committed to one or the other.
Exactly. I mean, if you make a decision to leave, you probably should leave. You know, coming back in can also put you in a bad spot.
I feel like they wanted that fight as Sylvanas. Rom was rotating over, and they had the Giannis ult to help get over there. I feel like they just didn't execute it the way they wanted to.
For sure.
I mean, they had the lane dominance in duo, and Rom was definitely rotating.
Oh, the body blocks from your lunch truck. They were really good body blocks. He just went in with the ultimate, hit him with that. Then Chuck used his in response to try and get away, and then obviously Kappa Q timed his nicely as well to actually make sure he got the CC off the moment the immunity ended from Chuck. So pinned him down, and then lunch truck with the body blocks was really, really nicely played there from the two of them. Really impressed by the body blocks more than anything else.
Yeah,
because a lot of people don't realize how strong they are.
Incredibly strong. I like this Sylvanas and Rom pressuring the blue buff from red team. Basically, like, you're not going to get a free blue buff. Don't let them get that blue buff for free. At least delay it. And Agni's going to have to rotate and pick it up for them. But he's also going to be losing creeps in the mid lane because of that.
It's not too bad though, because like he's not missing too much in the mid lane. He should be really sharing this though. Hopefully he does do so with the dual lane. Yeah, he's going to share it with at least.
I think he should have waited and let the Nemesis rotate over for it. He shouldn't lose too much, but that could have been worse.
Harpies are up again soon. In this one, we've got lefts and rights coming up. Which ones will they elect to go for this time? Looks like red do want to go for lefts once again, and right's going to go to blue side. Hopefully we don't see Sylvanas get himself in the same pickle he did last time.
You know, even with Bacchus losing this lane, like losing the pressure, he's still managing to rotate before the Sylvanas every single time to these mid camps, and they're securing the left ones, which is always good. Especially that's hard to do from a support who's being outpushed.
Well, it's the risky side as well, isn't it? That's the main thing to know. Is the left ones are always the risky one because there's more chance of more people being there. And for them to be able to, go to that side and be confident in doing so, it's really nice to play.
This Chalk put himself in a bad spot. He's forced ult just to be defensive, and even then he still may get picked up. Oh, I don't like that decision by the Osiris. I think the Chalk is too tanky at that point to really elect to dive him, especially when he has Rain Dance up. Wastes his ult and also takes huge tower shots.
Surprised we saw him going to the healing and not go for the torrent. I would have potentially in this lane matchup against his Osiris is max my torrent second just because of the physical protections it gives me as well. In this, it also helps me with the wave clear a little bit more as well. But going for the ring dance, it works.
He should.
But then it only sustains a little bit.
Does he have his 2 up?
Risky fight.
Yeah,
risky fight
this Osiris is playing incredibly risky, especially considered Kali's not on the map right now. Like he doesn't have a ward for this. Nemesis is. It seems like both junglers are both trying to get a pick on the enemy solo, who's low.
Speaking wards.
Go on.
Look at the wards by Gold Fury.
That
coming
is
out.
not. There's way too many
Yeah,
wards
a little
there.
strange.
I don't know who. I don't know if that was placed by one person or what, but that was
What
too
is this
risky.
fighting, Joe? What is this fighting?
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
I don't
really
even-
poor from Red. That's just poor from Red.
No,
and
this is just weird from both of them. Like,
Right.
rewind this fight back because they just stand and bang as a 2v2 for absolutely ages. It's
Well,
so
no,
crazy.
this is fine. This is fine for blue team. They have the Sylvanas heal. They're ahead a little bit, and also the Sylvanas did a great job of body blocking. Like he just stood in there and tanked everything from Apollo, and Rom stood right behind him and got auto attacks off.
I just don't understand why there was just no disengage from either side. I guess you're correct that it was blue team's favor.
Yeah, no, there's look they have
That's
they have
top down.
archers. There's no reason for blue team to back off of this. There's absolutely no reason for blue team to back off of this. The Sylvanas is doing a great job too of body blocking and getting his autos off. And I really like that pull to make sure Bacchus can't jump and then immediately ulting and popping his whiffs. That was fantastic play from the blue team duo.
Yeah, one thing that happened in that as well, if you actually watch it back, Bacchus was out of that engagement and then he panicked because Apollo stayed in.
That
If he would have just left, Apollo could have got out himself if he so
Yeah.
wanted to. Apollo stayed in to make sure Bacchus got out, so it was actually they both misplayed to save each other, which
Yeah.
is the worst thing you can do sometimes. And the fight
Nemesis
shouldn't happen anyway.
Lunch Truck just made a really, really poor life decision. He walked in to mid lane, Kali was there, and he ulted Kali, and Kali just jumped away. Just completely wasted his ult. Agni was there, but even still, it was just, there was no need for him to ult there.
Interesting time for that to happen as well. I mean, with the dual lane just dying, there could have been some potential for them to go for the Gold Fury then. I guess they chose not to as a team, but it's a very, I'm going to say a very passive game. It's more misplays more than anything else that are standing out to me right now.
I
It's
agree.
just more misplays from both teams. That is showing the differences.
Yeah, I think Kali's doing a good job of focusing on the counter ganking and farming. As a Kali, you really just want to get to kin size as fast as you can, and then focus on really making an impact on the game. Just counter gank any rotation the Nemesis has, in my opinion.
Yeah, I honestly, I totally agree with you, by the way, about the fact that it just feels like Carly feels like the one that's not been too bad. She did counter gank in that situation, picked up a kill for herself, and she's been focusing on farm more than anything else, not really looking for a big pick more than anything else.
I think
Just
Agni
waiting
got
for
one of
situation.
those.
He should have done. It looks like it.
Yep. And I like this rotation from Osiris, especially looking for the fight. He's not going to get anything, but they're also going to secure right camps. I really like that decision by Osiris to rotate in. He might have got himself a little bit too far. Blue team probably shouldn't keep chasing this. No one's in
Yeah,
position
he's
to
still-
follow up.
He's still Osiris, though. I mean, he's got Witchblade online already working on boots. It's going to be hard for a Carly and a Chuck to try and bring him down now, especially with the tether and obviously his physical protections from his passive. It's just going to be too much.
Yeah.
So
For sure.
trying to abuse his will. This is a good sign of a solo laner, though. One that realizes when they're ahead, they should rotate early and try and put the pressure and dominate their will on the rest of the map too to support the team.
Now, right about now, we start seeing Sentry Wards come out for this Gold Fury, and we see Sylvanas counter. They're gonna have to answer that back with another Sentry Ward to make sure that they don't give up an objective for free. I mean, they have the damage to do this right now. Like, if this Bacchus backs, they could very easily give up a Gold Fury. So they just got to keep that in mind.
I love the they stole the blue.
Yeah.
I love
Stole the
the pressure
blue.
they're putting on this.
Right.
And they have the wards. They have perfect wards around it too, where if Nemesis is rotating in behind them, they're gonna know. They're gonna be able to back off. They also have the Giannis Global to help out if they do get pinched in a bad spot. I love the pressure this dual lane's putting on. It's not just we're gonna dominate you in lane. It's that we're gonna translate that into shutting down your buffs.
This is interesting. Casper could get caught out of position here a little
Yeah.
bit, actually.
I think
But
he's
the stuns on
fine,
him
but
pull
he is
down.
gonna.
Yeah.
He's just gonna take a lot of poke. All right, now Sylvanas got picked. I want to see Giannis ult right now. Like he just
Or has
ult,
he? Or has he?
ult,
No,
ult,
he has.
Giannis.
You're right.
Giannis, ult, Giannis. Okay. Now he ults. He ulted too late there. Like red team had disengaged. The
Yeah,
second,
but look, I mean, look at mid lane as well. There's still farm for him to do there. He should have. The lane should have been more pushed up. He should have pushed the lane before rotating. The fight was already over, I guess. I mean, when
Yeah,
you
no.
called it, yeah, he should have. But
it was
after that, he
too
should have
late at
stayed.
that point. Yeah, you're right. Like it was just he should have got the farm in mid. The fight was over. Sylvanas got picked. The second dual lane, and that could also be dual. I mean, that's not necessarily Giannis's fault. That could be dual lane. They need to They need to be aware that they have a Giannis. You always want to be aware of your team globals as well. If you have a Thor, if you have an Athena, if you have a Giannis, these players can't always be like oh, I see this, I'm going to ult. They need to be focusing, they're focusing on other aspects of the game as well. Like, if you need a Giannis ult, you need to call for it immediately. So it could be dual lane just didn't call for it in time.
Look at the ward places right now between the two teams as well. Sylvanas is pretty much Sylvanas and Giannis together the ones that are the team in terms of
wards
wards,
by Osiris. That's crazy. For 12 minutes,
Osiris,
that's
a
crazy.
solo laner? Yeah. He's really committing a lot of wards to the team.
If I think like 4 or 5 for him right now would be good. 7 is awesome, but it's a matter of is he overwarding. And I like this. He once again he's rotating. They need to force this fight. He is here. I don't like the decision by red team to back off of that. I think that was a good fight. I don't think the Agni was in position though, and the Bacchus and the Agni weren't in a position. That is a fight I think they should have taken with Osiris here. Yeah, and they're gonna look to pick the Sylvanas, but they also might get themselves pinched.
His Agni is gonna get picked up.
That was really bad rotation by Cirque Duckbot.
And then right here should, you know, just be
Gold
this should
Fury.
just be Gold Fury.
They just need to go to it now. Yeah, and they're making the right call too. Someone needs to make sure to zone though, is the only thing.
Well, we'll see who goes on zone. Angeli tries to do some work. Looks like Nemesis is going to be the one on the front line. Lunch Truck choosing wisely. They can still do this. They don't have to panic too much.
Good jump by Bacchus there to avoid the
really
chalk.
Good jump actually. But Dandy's making some work on the backline. It's a shame that wasn't a
He had
target,
ult.
so
I don't know why he didn't ult. I don't think he had mana. Yeah, he didn't have mana.
I think it's mana. Yeah.
That's the thing though. You always got to be aware of your mana, especially when you have an ult that immunes death.
They should be using Osiris on zoning here, not the Nemesis. Honestly, it should be Osiris on zoning. He's so strong right now. They shouldn't be scared.
He's got more slows than Nemesis, and he also has a tether reduced damage. I agree. They were able to secure it though.
That's a nice mess from Apollo though.
They've stayed a long time. They should have given up that ROM, and they're gonna. Someone's gonna die for it. Someone has to die for it.
Does she have a shield?
Yeah, there it is. They did get the Gold Fury though. That was great decision making and timing.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I think I would have liked to see them stay on the objective there. I mean, it was around like 40% health when they reset, and Bacchus did not get hit by that silence, so he definitely could have been pretty strong there to stay on that.
Why is Bacchus in right?
I mean, we're about 15 minutes into the game now, and for me, like, what stands out for me is Casper, Q, and Lunch Truck are probably the two that really, like, putting on a show for me personally. I feel like Casper's played very, very well from the solo lane, abused the situation well, rotated and forced things, including that Gold Fury. And Lunch Truck, for the most part, he understands the game. I can see he does understand it. One or two misplays in terms of just randomly ulting the Kali, but the body blocking shows that he's really, really aware of how the game is played and what to try and do to abuse situations.
For sure. But we do have a scout, one of the scouts that watched this game, and it's going to be Wolfpack89. Wolfpack, how are you doing? And who really was in the spotlight for you these games, or this game?
I'm doing good, thanks. The spotlight for me in these games, I was watching mostly the red team.
Okay.
A lot of it for me was the Bacchus and the Osiris. Primarily because the Bacchus fell behind so far early, but was able to come back and be so far ahead later.
Okay.
And then the Osiris just was able to dominate his lane opponent. Those were the two really big players for me in this particular game.
Yeah, I agree with Osiris. I think he's probably been my standout star, because I think the Chalk messed up. I don't think he should be as ahead as he is, and I think it was more of a Chalk misplay. But it's what he did, what he's done with his lead that has impressed me. The rotations he's made and forcing fights and Gold Furies, he's really abused the situation of how far ahead he is.
Oh, that pole just saved him.
Yeah.
There was a great pull, but it did save him. That was the worst thing about it. The best thing about it was the pull was not easy through a wall.
Dandy went a little too deep
too.
crew,
so.
Yeah, so I definitely have to agree with you there. I really am liking this Bacchus the more and more I see him. His rotations are good. He's warding. He has awareness during team fights, so I'm definitely leaning towards Bacchus a little bit more than Chalk or than Osiris for my personal opinion.
Okay, and
Right,
yeah, keep going, Wolf. Sorry.
One of the things in comms, one of the things I was really, really impressed with was they were very, very aware of his hog timer. There was one time they were getting ready to contest an objective, and they knew exactly when the Gold Fury was going to respawn, and he was like, okay, I'm going to hog here, and then I'll have 2 seconds left until the Gold Fury spawns, and my hog will be up again, so I'll be fine. So they were really, really communicating on his farm, especially because he was so far behind at the beginning. They were really focused on getting him back up and working. This team really worked well as a unit. and there were individual standout players, but they really did work well as a unit, and that's something I'm really looking forward to in the scouting. How well are you working together as a team? Because individual plays are great, but you have to be able to work with others.
One quick question for you. How did Happy Night QQ translate? Because I don't know. It felt like their dual lane was really dominating. That's to be expected with Sylvanas, but I really like the decision making for them to pressure the enemy blue. I think the Sylvanas got caught and put himself in too many bad situations, but how did the ROM do?
I wasn't watching the ROM as much.
Okay.
To be totally honest with you, Deathiance was watching the ROM. I was focused mostly on the red, but the ROM just seemed to basically not be able to get off the damage he needed to do to be as impactful as he could have been.
Okay. Thank you for joining us, Wolfpack, though. We'll be right back, guys, with another game from the EU Smite Combine.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back once again. On your screens, we'll be seeing Deadly Viper, Narkoshka, Antivist, Darkser, Getfisher, Moustikaz, Dunny, Headhunter 16, Nazaroth, and Kempernator.
Getfisher. He was on Elo Fishers, right, last season? So he's not just, he's definitely not a random.
No, he's no rando, so we'll see how he performs in this one. He should understand the game to an extent, and early on we're going to see...
This is a big group up. Nemesis actually had a... I guess she's going to get away. It was only Geb. Thought they were all grouped up more there. I really like this decision by Red Team to press the issue. I think they have a better early fight.
Yeah, marginal.
It's not much better, but I do like the decision for them to group up and look for a pick.
It's a little bit marginal. I mean, with the heal of the slows, and then you've got Hercules there who does more damage the lower he gets, as well as the driving strike stun. It's like 50-50, but it was interesting to see it, though. The fact that they both decided to try and group up on the same side. The only problem is I feel like Red Team are the ones that got hard done by it, because the enemy has managed to get both wards down in enemy territory, one at the speed and one at the enemy blue. So
sure.
They've got very, very good vision.
Yeah, I feel like they wanted that fight. Both teams sort of wanted it because you see both supports picking up the multi-pot, which means they planned on not backing.
Oh, no early game shenanigans this time round, though, as well. So we'll just see standard starts, I guess.
Yeah. So normally Nox dominates lane, but I actually like this matchup with Raw. As long as he drops his heal on his minion straight away. Like, the Nox has crazy clear and poke, but it's not like an instant, I'm going to burst through all your minions. It's going to take 2 or 3 hits. And with Raw, being able to heal up his minions, he's going to be able to counter that pretty effectively.
Yeah, and the thing about Raw as well, I mean, he can also position himself so he doesn't get hit by that
Bots
very,
might be
very
in
easily.
trouble.
We've seen this way too much.
Yeah.
Like, even though he didn't die, that's really bad. You cannot sit
And
next
Duo
to a
Lane's getting
tower
pressured really hard now, too. He might...
as Herc. But, I mean, they're putting on the pressure right back, too.
Definitely good awareness by Deadly Viper.
This is a good bats. This is a good bats rotation, though. He made a mistake in that lane, but this is a good rotation to mid lane. I hope he just prioritizes the farm here. I don't think they'll be able to get a kill.
I think
That was a really bad. The rotation was there, but he should not have fought that.
I think no, it was the right decision to go in, but I don't think he should have jumped as soon as he did. The Rod didn't even know he was there. It just comes back down to using your escape/initiation at the right time. It could have potentially been good poke, but
I mean the thing was Raw had the minion wave dead, and his was there.
And now because of that, I love the call from Getfisher and Darkser here to go for that red buff. They pushed into tower against this Nox. They know they had forced combats back because of that engagement mid. Now they steal away the buff in the jungle. This is a good call. Hopefully they get out.
They should go on Nox, honestly.
They should. They're just too scared. I mean, her burst is so high though, so I guess you can show her some respect.
Yeah.
If she hits you with the 2-3 combo, you're dead, and she can hit both of them too because they were lined up perfectly.
a little late shield by Getfisher there, but it's alright. Rahil will heal him up, no problem. Good pull by this Herc. Hercules is just, he's hitting every single Earthshaker. And
Herc's crushing this lane right now.
really abusing them.
I mean, in that lane as well, he should go in Hercules just because.
Look at this. I like this
better.
decision right here. They're going for the red buff, knowing that they're on speed. That's a good
Really good
call.
call.
I don't know who called that, whether it was a Nox or Hunbots, but definitely the right decision.
Yeah, they watched him walk to speed, and then they went and stole the red buff. You're right, great decision. This I think is a good engage. He's full health, but the Rod just hit 5 too.
Again, see,
Shouldn't
he
matter.
uses
He should
jump.
still be dead. Dunny's got no mana though on that Nox. That's why you don't see the real engage come out from it. It's a shame. He was overextended that that Ra there. Docs have just played that way too
You know,
aggressively.
they might be in trouble here if this Athena lands a taunt.
They've
Yeah,
got
Ra's
Wickham coming up
5.
soon as well. It's nice.
That was really he hit it, but that could have been timed much better. I feel like
That's
the,
because it's a level 4 Athena. I mean, if that was rank 2 into the taunt, they would have hit the snipes on both, I think.
Yeah.
yeah.
But obviously, you know, you don't.
I don't
mind
like
people
this
getting
decision right here.
shield wall. It's risky. He's not got snipe now. If he had snipe, I'd like the call. But
Yeah.
he's not
but
got it.
He doesn't have it.
Hunbat's
And now
is
he's
5
in trouble.
too.
He could potentially die
Bat
here.
should all in. Bat should have all in, Dad. He should have all in.
I
but he
agree,
didn't.
but the rest of his team isn't in position, and now actually, great
dead.
Athena taunt. We should see a dash. We should see this chased off. Get Fisher will get
Athena
first
done.
blood. And Hunbat's also rotated back in, ulted Raw, and then ran away.
Yeah, you know, I would have been okay with that if he ulted onto the Nemesis there.
Is this a
like,
gold call?
If it, I was about to get excited.
Me too. But it looks like they're going to go for the gank. I don't know if the gank's the right thing to try and do. They've just used all ultimates. They could have gone gold there, honestly. The gold was definitely viable for them. In that
Hunbats was
situation,
Oom
they
and-
were all healthy enough as well. Hunbats had no ultimate. Geb was dead. Still only level 4. Not going to have Hog 3. It would have been fine. I think that they should have gone gold there. They got greedy for kills, I felt.
Yeah, I mean, the only risky part of that would have been losing it to a Rom ult, right? And that is something that could potentially happen.
It's not worth the risk thing for them. I think. If they went for the gold call, I wouldn't have said it'd be wrong, but
I would have liked to see seen a gold call to force a fight,
Yeah.
not necessarily go for gold.
They had
Geb's
the
gonna
opportunity
pick
to,
up
but they
that
do
on a
still. Ooh,
rotation.
what's going on left? How does that happen?
they were just fighting for a while, and
Do you want to roll it back?
Yeah, we'll roll it back. Apollo just got a little too poked out and still tried to stay aggressive.
That doesn't make sense how that could happen. I'm really confused by that. I mean, he's got enough mana and HP. He's got no cooldowns, right? All his cooldowns are still up.
I think he just gets poked out here. The Rom just focuses the Apollo.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a really bad play from Dudley, honestly. He should not be in the minion wave, taking free poke from Arama. He just stands off to the side, pokes the minion wave down. He doesn't have
Yeah,
to
and a
stand
great
close like
cripple
that.
too.
Oh, the cripple was the big thing. Cripple was huge.
He caught him too. He caught him on the dash. Like
Yeah,
his
that's
dash on
why
cooldown.
it was huge. The cripple was actually what ended his life.
Yep.
And then he overjuked it. And sometimes you sometimes you overjuke trying to stay alive, and it punishes you. So
And it looks like meanwhile Nemesis invaded and stole the speed from Hunbats.
yeah,
Great decision.
They did steal that. Hercules helped out with that as well. So Hercules was the one that gave the
Yeah,
call,
that's
you know,
that's
Nemesis
just
and
Herc
together.
dominating this lane right now, and he's able to apply the pressure. He's got Runeforged Hammer fully stacked. He had the Hog available.
So the Ra's going to have to start being careful here against this Nox. She's going to start having a lot of burst damage soon, and the heal isn't going to be enough to protect him. And if she decides to all in on him, I think she's going to win that engagement. We see a lot of action going on in Soul Lane right now. And again, like we see Ra rotating right.
I like that.
Hunbots is backing, Nemesis is backing. In the right lane, it could be an easy opportunity for Gold Fury for either one of these teams right now.
I mean, the right lane as well at the moment, Hercules is dominating, but because he's got the Runeforged Hammer, once that Witchblade comes online for Osiris, I think that'll swing backwards into Osiris's favor once again. This matchup is a backwards and forwards based off itemization and when the items are purchased, so just keep an eye on that for when the Witchblade actually does get finished by this Osiris, because it should be a total different matchup.
Rob might be in trouble here. Good jump is going to get the slow. Good Nox ult.
There, he'll die. But
There's-
Nemesis rotated in.
Yeah. Is the Athena ult going to be...
No.
Pretty
I don't-
disappointed from that from Ra, honestly. Like, he had ward placements down as well. There was no reason for him to be there.
It's just that guy's still being aggressive. Now we're gonna see Headhunter fight Deadly Midget again. This Rom is really putting a lot of pressure on him.
It's a Viper, not a midget.
Did I say Deadly Midget? Oh, there's a Deadly Midget yesterday. This time it's
The
Deadly
invasion on
Viper.
red again, though. I like that they're
Yeah.
keeping it on cooldown constantly.
Yeah, I
trying
really
to
like
deal with it.
what Blue Team's doing with the invades. Gitfisher's doing a great job of putting on the pressure into the enemy jungle here.
That's
This
a good
is
Athena dump.
yeah,
Got taunt, but they've got no follow-up damage is the big issue.
yeah. Like they were completely relying on Athena damage, and that's not super strong. Right there. That one they're full health. That's a good. I need help getting this pick, not a let's 2v4, 2v3.
Gitfisher played that pretty well. He uses abilities at the
Oh my
right
God, the
time,
body
just
block.
wasn't enough.
Nazarov's dead to body blocking from both Apollo and Ra. The boulder comes out, forces him back towards him now. So
This is a pretty crazy fight, considering
it's
everything.
madness. I'd like to see a Gold Fury attempt coming out from Blue Team right now.
It's
Like, right
it's very risky, and the reason is all their ults are down and Nox is up. and she's full health and mana. Like
but with a Herc,
I
Herc
like.
just zones him off. You know, it's not rocket science just to zone him off with Herc and just drive and strike away. Don't you feel?
I mean, there's two people that are incredibly low. I think it's too risky with Rom being pretty healthy and with Nox at full health and mana. Normally I would like it, but not in that situation. Meanwhile, Ra's gonna rotate into mid lane. He has been up way too far and putting himself in really bad positions. I'll be honest here. I've seen mistakes all across the map here between both teams.
There's so many mistakes in this game.
Like each
Everyone's
team is
just
just staying way
overcommitting.
too long.
They're just overcommitting and choosing bad rotations, bad decisions, trying to save each other too much.
Great interrupt though by that Geb.
Geb did work. Bass on the backside though, still dealing with Athena, who's stuck around as well. For some reason, now Apollo's coming back in. What the hell? We gonna stop this fight at any point?
I mean, he saw 2 kills. It's a matter of if he can get them. If he can pick up Hunbats, he just need. Yeah, you know, he actually could have picked up Hunbats, but he decided not to turn and fight. I think he was dead no matter what, and I think he should have went for it. This should have been a gold. Nox should be at gold.
And
Hunbats
that's the
is
only
low.
thing about Deadly Viper's decision to go in there that I'm happy about is that he stops the Hog 3 being available for the enemy
true.
team to start the Gold Fury. So that's the only good thing. You can see Darks is going to go around and call it. Honestly, the whole fight was down to Darks' positioning from mid lane after the mid harpies. He rotated in from the enemy side of the jungle, and in doing so, he didn't know that there was people walking through mid lane. Got picked. His teammates went in to help. They were all low because they'd still not backed. They were low mana. Hercules then gets picked. Then the rest of red team all start grouping up because they've all respawned again. They start cleaning up the fight, and it was more of a mess more than anything from blue
I
team
think I like.
on trying to save each other.
I think I like the support players more than anything in these games. They seem to be where they need to be at the same time, and it's a matter of who's communicating stuff because I don't know who's calling to go in, who's calling to back off. But the support seem to be in great position. They've been body blocking pretty well, and really looking to help their team out.
I think so far, yeah, the supports haven't played too badly, honestly, overall. Some good taunts coming out, some good positional awareness from the Geb more than anything else. His ultimate was really, really good on the Nemesis as well to stop the dash away and set up for the kill as well. So,
Yeah, I'm not a fan of. I think this Hunbats has been playing it pretty poorly. I like the pressure that Gidfisher has been putting on the enemy buffs, but I've seen too many like misplays all around to really warrant anything past that.
I mean, we know Fisher's been on the yellow fishes before. We know we've seen him around, and his jungle presence is pretty good. So he's got good jungle times. Sometimes I just feel like he chooses to fight at odd moments, or engage in situations that are not in favor of his team.
I agree. I
least
think
in this
that's
game.
kind of the misplays we've been seeing mostly.
Like, as you can see, once again, you're going to go for the red buff steal, which is great awareness of the map and the situation. This time, though, red team no. Red team no this time, and he should have expected that.
Yeah, especially
could
once
see
the
that
solo
one coming.
rotation's in. This should turn into their favor, especially if this Hunbats gets picked up. And his jump is down. There's no reason for him not to.
Don't know why they sent 3 men for that one guy who needs 1 hit to kill. They could have zoned out the others or started picking on the Rama there. They can do gold from that, though, because Geb went down as well, so...
Yeah, this is... I
problem
like
is-
this call, especially because, I mean, they have raw heal. They're not weak like they were before. Ramal is up, though. And I think this Rom should go in the air sooner rather than later. Yeah. They kind of just let them do it, honestly.
And now they
A
might
lot
pay
of
the
damage
price,
coming out. They could potentially still fight this here.
So when you fight a Nox, you have to commit. Like you can't poke her and then back off because she's gonna a smart Nox will immune a lot of your higher damaging abilities and then constantly put out the pressure because I mean her Siphon Darkness is on what, a 3-second cooldown right now or a 4-second cooldown?
4 second.
It's
3.
I think it's 3.
Next
4
patch,
seconds.
next patch, boys.
4
Next
seconds
patch.
is PTS, boys.
Yeah, PTS boys.
Oh,
Come on, Peckies.
Come on, Peckies.
Come on now.
But yeah. Look at all these wards around the map, though. One even just faded. A lot coming out from blue team. Nox has also placed a lot of wards, too. I like the decision to place a lot of wards for her. She is a very easily ganked mid laner because she has no escape. And I like that she's playing pretty defensive for herself. And the Geb is doing a great job of warding as well.
this Herc is still just putting out constant pressure on the Osiris.
There's no like play of the. I mean, to be honest, the only play of the game that I could really talk about was that Rama cripple early on against the Apollo. That's the only thing that's really stood out to me as like individual mechanic skill, you know, of rolling in, crippling, landing it, and then securing
Raw's
the kill
just
for himself.
up too far
Well,
again with
nothing
no
else.
wards. These mid
Darks
camps are
is just not in a
staggered
good game.
really hard though. Look
Yeah.
at how
Well,
staggered these mid camps are right now.
I'm talking about like the mid camps as well. Herc's going to rotate for these ones as well. He's got pressure on that lane still.
I like this.
I'm surprised he's done so well in that lane considering the Osiris did get that Witchblade. I was surprised to see that actually happen, that he still continues to dominate there. So he's doing a good job. I mean, he's 500 gold ahead as well. That does include a Gold Fury though, but still, it's a good advantage. And looking at the tower HP, it's not been too bad of a lane for him at all.
I agree. So I mean, I'd like to hear the communication calls from the scout if we can work on getting him in here. Because I want to know how these supports are communicating. I think the Geb has been playing very well.
That
He's
was
been
nice from
rotating.
Gab. That was huge from Gab.
Yeah, the Geb's been rotating very, very, very well on this Apollo. After he pushes up too much, is he gonna snipe him? Oh, he hits him with the last one.
No, it wasn't Shell, was it? What was that actually saved him then? I guess that was just literally the Mez.
Get Fisher going in on a fight again here.
He should be dead.
Yeah.
Nope, not going to get the overhand. Smashes Nazaroff though. They're still chasing this though, and Raw could get some cleanup from that, but going to get zoned out immediately by Nox.
I like the rotation from both mids though. We do have the coach here actually for these teams, and it is Captain Coach of Team Titan. Coach, how are you doing? Who have you been your star players here, man?
Star players are actually both the mids. I believe it's Darkza on Raw, if I'm not mistaken, and Dunny on Nox. Very good mechanically both. What separates Dunny from the rest is his communication. He really controls the communication on their team, and has very on point rotations. I also like the Divine Ruin that he started off with. It's not a very usual start item for mids, but because you're facing a Raw and Nox focus on the poke in mid lane to win the mids.
Yep.
To win the mid lane, and then Raw can heal that up easily. So getting that Divine Ruin early means that he can still outpoke the Raw and thus win the lane.
Yeah, we were talking about that at start.
I'm going to question you, Captain, on that, decision about Darkseid, because
I agree.
We've only seen the first 14, 15 minutes of the game, but he seems to be a bit too aggressive and getting caught out a few too many times, at least in the first 15. I'm guessing as the game goes on, that improves, and his rotations do seem agreeably very, very, very good, but he just seems to get caught a little bit too much, at least in my eyes from what I've seen so far.
I don't think he's either lacking the awareness or the positioning, and I think it's awareness more than anything. Because even at that early rotation by Hunbats, he was pushed up, and Hunbats just came in behind him and surprised him. And it was he had no idea that the Hunbats had rotated, from the way he reacted.
Yeah, that's very much awareness. You'll see that later.
Wow, that was a really good Raw snipe though.
That was a good last time. Like the thing is, we saw him get a double kill, and then as you were saying, you put him down as one of your major players. He got a double kill, and like, oh. Okay, I guess he picks up then. That was more than anything that way to point out, because through the first 15, we're like, oh, probably not. But then, it looks like he's picked up his game as the game went on into a sort of, rotations, and his snipes look pretty good on point then.
Yes, it's definitely his laning phase is the weakest. His laning phase is weaker than his team fighting phase, and in team fights he does really well. Positions himself well there too, and then goes on to snipe. I believe there's a 3 or 4 man ults even at some point coming up that wins an entire fight. So he has a big presence in team fights.
Is that by the Gold Fury?
Yes, that's
okay.
We're
About to watch it on screen.
Literally about to see that.
Okay, let's see how this works here.
It's up.
Oh yeah, there it is.
Awful.
That was a huge fight.
I'm sold now.
Especially after he just got feared, I believe. So being able to instantly transition from that.
Like, we were speaking about him saying, he's getting caught too much throughout the game. Then we see him get a double kill after you mentioned his name. Then he gets a 3-man snipe over at the speed buff. Then he goes to Gold Fury and gets a 4-man snipe off and sets up for a double, if not triple.
Mechanically, he's very well, but he definitely seems that he needs to work on his laning phase and his awareness, because in a higher level game, he is going to be the reason his team loses if that happens. So I'd like to see him maybe get with the team that can help him teach him that, though.
Yeah, definitely.
Can we rewind that quickly?
Yeah, you know what? You want to slow-mo it?
I want to slow-mo it.
All right, we'll double slow-mo it. We'll go super slow-mo. Let's get some first-person action in here, or over-the-shoulder action, too. Here, I kind of want to see this.
This is the one point in the game that you guys are actually good in it, production value, right? You can do good camera work, yeah?
For sure.
Wow.
I mean, that's what you hide for, right? Right?
That was great.
Look at that snipe.
That was fantastic. And immediately into the one as well. I really like the Hunbat's decision to ult on the Gold Fury because his fear it continuously ticks. That means if the Athena had walked in to try and steal it, she would have had the fear reapplied to her multiple times.
Right.
So I like that Hunbat's decision not to just throw it on the Athena, but to throw it on top of the Gold Fury, especially since Apollo had landed there as well. He might have been able to position it a little better to get the Raw as well, but I do like the decision making coming from that Hunbat's.
Yeah, definitely. I like the Hunbots as a jungler. I would like to see him work on his mechanics a little bit and just, learn when to use certain abilities. But he's definitely impressed me in terms of like rotations and counter jungling and things like that.
Before we go, how did these solo laners and supports transition? Because I kind of like the supports. I just don't think I've been able to see enough from them. And solo laners, it seems to be Herc just dominating.
Yes. In terms of solo, Herc is dominating, but he's very, very good mechanically. He knows, he peels a lot for his teammates in team fights.
Okay.
Which I was really impressed by because not a lot of Hercs do that because they know
True.
the burst potential that Herc has, so they focus on the damage. But he peeled a lot for his teammates, and that was really good. It gave the Athena a lot of initiation possibilities because she knew that, or he knew, don't know if it's probably a guy, that he could, that the Herc would peel in the back anyways.
Okay.
So that was really good by the Herc, and the Osiris was a little bit too passive in my opinion. And in terms of the supports, I think the Athena had some good plays, had some bad plays, and feels like a very consistent player.
Okay.
Not gonna have a lot of bad games versus super good games, just very consistent. But needs to work on getting multiple people CC'd because it's often just a one-man taunt.
Okay. One last thing too. I know I said one last thing last time, but communication. Who is leading the charge on these teams?
Dunny and Headhunter on Team Isis, and Get Fisher and Anti-Fist actually. That was really impressed. I was really impressed by how well Herc could shot call while from the solo lane and still has extreme good map awareness.
Okay, awesome. So thank you for joining us, Captain Coach. And we will be right back, guys, with one more game from the EU Smite Combine.
Thank you for having me.
Welcome back once again to another EU Combine Round 2 Weekly. I am joined by Bill and Ben, the Flower Pot Men, also known as Peckies and Adonis. But in this game, we'll see Los for LOL, Ralin, Meloex, Panface, the Speckis, Syncrotion, Yuketsu, Flashwing, Mad Cow Rodin, and Sheepy Nation.
Look at the taunt coming
That
out.
double taunt, though.
No follow-up, though.
I mean, they didn't really have anyone in position to follow up, unfortunately. I mean, I like the taunt. I think it might have come out a little bit too early.
Yeah.
And the reasoning also there is now she has taunt level 1. So
I mean, I don't mind the taunt. I think it's like the problem is like when you're in that position as a support as well, you're looking for the taunt. You see the opportunity for a double, and you take it because you're worried about losing the double opportunity. But in doing so, if she would have waited a little bit longer, she could have probably confirmed first blood for her team. She would have been a little bit more patient.
yeah, I mean, it was unfortunate. There was just no one in position to follow up on it. And now this on her is forced to try and steal, I think. Because otherwise, they're going to have to hog this blue. I think they should hog blue and then put pressure. And what is... Geb is late. Geb is super late. Like,
They should do
super
backhands.
late.
They should do
Look at
back.
this.
Blue should
Look
do.
at this
yeah,
Kali, too. Thor is
Yeah.
starting at red. And Kali's trying to steal this. And she's going to get it. I mean, she knows Thor is at red. They reset it.
Agony saw it, though. Agony saw it before he
Just-
actually
just
did
two
the
at
dash. She's
hog,
still
two at
looking for
hog.
it.
There you go. That was great. I love this word. Saw Thor was
Notice how it
starting
took
at
jump.
red.
She
still
leveled her
mid-camps.
1 first.
I
Yeah,
think
she
she
took
was
a one to
worried
get
that
out.
she would get caught.
Yep. So she could jump over the wall to
Yep.
speed as well. I
And
don't think
this
it's the worst
this
call.
duo lane is doing exactly what they needed to. She got taunt early. That means she's forced to use hog on the buff, and then they contest the enemy's blue buff and put pressure on it. And it works especially since that Geb was late to lane. So misplays by red there in the duo lane, allowing blue team to really take advantage of the early taunt. Or the
I mean,
accidental early
if
taunt.
Geb was on time there, I think that was a silly call coming out from Athena and her to try and contest with just taunt, because they'll hit level 2, you'll still be level 1. It puts you in a pretty bad spot, honestly.
I
You've
mean,
gotta
they're
be
not
really
looking to
careful with
fight. They're not looking to fight at all. They're just looking to bully you off of it, and that's exactly what happened. They have no interest in fighting. And they had a ward there on blue, too, to know that the Geb wasn't there on time.
it. Well, we're seeing a lot of Rara and Agnes this week, it looks like, with
Yeah.
2 games in the mid lane in that matchup, so see how that one plays out as this goes on.
This is actually a Poseidon solo, not something you see too often.
This isn't a Kali too. So we saw Kali last week played by Yuketsu again in the solo lane.
Oh, I just realized it's Kali solo. Oh my man.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
He's done it before though. Like he did it
Yeah,
last
he did it
week
last week as well. You're right.
He was against Osiris, I believe, last week.
So it's a very farm-oriented lane. I think he did very well against it too, surprisingly. So
Well,
see
the
how he
funny
does this
thing
week.
is this lane should technically be easier for him because he's against a mage now.
Bad
'cause Kali
rotation
played
by
against mages.
bots.
I really don't like the hog pickup on Kali solo. Double active Kali is impossible to deal with. And even though it might help you out a little bit early, if you have 2 actives on Kali, you're nobody could stop you at that point.
Blue team's in a
agree.
bad spot.
Well, they should have known Bats was possibly rotating there. They're not going to follow up on it though and just defend the blue buff and get that for themselves.
Raw's in a bad spot as well here, especially if this Agni has any ability up. There's his 2. First blood.
Good stuff.
Great rotation by Thor. Agni wasn't paying attention for it. I don't know if that wasn't called by the soul lane or what, but great rotation by him. And I like the decision to put the pressure on this Hunbats too.
There's not much they can really put on him though. I mean, they're looking for the red as a whole team here, which is a really good call from them. Pressured again into the lane. The bad news is minions have come to say hello, so they all know how many's there. So nobody's going to rotate for it. But nice play from the blue team as a whole, trying to steal away as much as possible from the jungle, which is really going to keep denying the whole team.
Yeah, I like blue team's decision making as a team right now. Doing a fantastic job. Even stealing the back harpies.
Going back to what you were saying though, Pecky, is about that Kali in the solo lane, I completely agree with you. One of the reasons to play Kali in a lane is so she can go sprint beads.
Yeah.
And if you're not going to go sprint beads, why the hell are you doing it then? Because that's why the strength of this comes from. Playing Kali in a lane is because she has sprint beads and she's almost impossible to stop in team fights.
Right.
By using the hog, she denies herself the same situation she would have done if she went jungle anyway.
Exactly.
So,
and then you could have just unbot soloed.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you could have bat soloed, and that would have been fine with the hog because all you need is beads.
Yep. No, I completely agree there. We're going to see mid camps go to red team, and nobody's in position for the right ones either. So I would imagine this would go to red team as well. Athena rotated a little late there. Thor is doing his speed, which is kind of weird coming from a Thor,
yeah,
right?
This is
think he would
really,
want to fight.
really too late.
Yeah.
Well, this is the problem that happens with junglers sometimes as well when they go for invades. The invades were good on the red buff, and he even stole back harpies too. But in doing so, he delayed his own jungle, which means he wasn't ready for mid camps because he was like, I need to do my speed.
Well, you just need to leave your speed. That's a poor decision. You're realistically not too much at risk of losing it, and if you are, you should get wards for it, or some like Athena, Agni, or Thor should be warding it. And then mid camps. Mid camps are just too important to give up, even for your speed. I would rather get 2 mid camps than my speed most of the time. Most of the time.
Well, they know speed and blue's up on this side as well to the blue team, and they're trying to position themselves for it. The bad news is they've not actually got a ward, which would be perfect for them to have right now. Instead, they're the ones that are going to be standing on wards all over. And I can see this going wrong if they try and engage, honestly. I guess that's
yeah,
what
they're not really in the position to do it. I think I would have still liked to see them fight. I mean, just Thor into Kraken would be devastating.
Yeah, for sure.
They also have an Agni. Like they have so much synergy with this Thor, and I would actually really like to see this Thor build pretty front line.
Well, he's going
coming into the
he's
mid
going
lane.
deep as well for
Yeah,
this.
that was fantastic. Great job by Geb. They should just back off.
Nice impale onto the tower.
They
but
just need to
not
back off.
Not going to be anything there.
Oh, Agni rotated in too.
Agni's on the back
I didn't even know. Yeah, Agni rotating in. All right, that was a good jump.
So,
I was going to say, I mean, I liked the Raw play because Raw went over to the speed buff to defend the speed. He didn't lose anything in mid, but in doing so, Panface, who pressured that mid lane, realized his opportunity to go and rotate around for that left side. So both those mid laners' rotations then were intelligent. The problem is that Panface got the advantage because he was able to rotate for the left side for the kill, while synchronization was like defending his buff basically.
Right. So something to keep in mind here is pay attention to what actives the red team's going to elect to invest into. You have a Poseidon solo who hasn't really been involved in anything yet, so by the time they get to team fights with the Poseidon, they might have already bought beads for their actives, and that in itself could really shut down a lot of the red team here if they don't keep that in mind.
I totally agree with that as well. And the one thing to note is that you always want to be thinking about this shows itemization levels of these players too, and whether they're on a competitive level, to be able to look at the whole picture of a game and not just think about the early stages of the game. They have to consider the late too. So hopefully we will see some Aegises coming out from this team.
I mean, at the same time, it's like, look at the beads you need. I mean, it's Thor, it's on her, it's Agni, it's Athena. Like, you need beads too. And then I actually think about it as a team comp level. That's incredibly smart, especially if this. especially if they notice they get beads and the Poseidon can really focus those
This
people.
left camp is so
Honestly,
dangerous,
that's
so
what they need
dangerous in the
Magi for.
2v3. This is so dangerous
for
coming
sure.
out from
Thor's
blue
in the
team.
air too. They need to keep
Thor
this
just
up.
went
Oh,
He chose a target that wasn't maybe the best, but they're going to be able to pick him up from that.
yeah,
easily,
I liked
think.
it.
Yeah, he'll
I
go
think
down.
he could have landed a little bit under. And also both solos have rotated. I'll be interested to see what Kali does.
The Apollo though.
Yeah, he did a great job rotating. Picked up 2 kills for it.
He did. His rotation was really good then from him as well. Anher's going to try and turn up, but he's not going to get anything for it. I really like Apollo's rotation there. It was important for his team. He actually made up for how that fight all went down. I mean, it was a weird one because Thor was way out of position at the beginning of that left-hand Harpies,
Look
but
at
I
this
guess the
call right
communication...
here.
There's Kraken
Kraken
available.
is still up.
Yeah, you need to be aware of Kraken.
Poseidon needs to go right for that goal.
No,
Fury. He
Yukatsu
could do
needs
it.
to... Oh.
Beautiful
Mistakes were made.
Kraken.
And he's going to steal it, too. That was
Good
very,
job.
very poor decision-making from Red Team. And meanwhile, the Kali is chasing down on her. I mean, she got the kill, but her team is fighting at doing Gold Fury and losing it in the
Her
back.
job was zone. Her job was zone away from the fight, and she should have prioritized the targets correctly. Anher had already used his ultimate, so all he had was an Impaler and the pillar available to him to try and stop that engagement of the Gold Fury. But when a full health Kraken boy comes into the fight, you want to be focusing him, body blocking him, and keeping him stunned out to make sure he doesn't go for it.
Yeah,
Instead, she just abandoned him and just left the team to like deal with what was going to happen with the Kraken. In doing so, she gets herself a kill, but she loses the whole team a lot of gold.
Right.
I mean, realistically, how much could she really do against the Kraken? Sorry, against Poseidon? Not too much.
Well,
but she should have done something. That's how
yeah.
I feel.
The only thing she could have done was hold down left click because her stun was down, her 2 was down, so there wasn't going to be too much. They could have potentially just churned on him and reset, which would probably have been the better option there.
I'd love to have heard the comms in that situation just to hear what Red Team was saying. I want to see if that was called that Poseidon was coming, because if it wasn't, A, somebody should have called it, and B, the Red Team could see that Poseidon walking in thanks to Carly's positioning anyway, to see that he was on his way, and they all just stayed grouped on it, trying to rush it as quick as possible, and paid with their lives and the Gold Fury.
Right. So, a lot of people rotating right here. Let's see what they're going to elect to do. Thor's going up in the air. I don't know if this is the right play.
Carly could be in trouble.
This Kali is getting destroyed in farm right now, even with Hog. And she's lost the Gold Fury, but she's still 400 gold behind.
By Thor there, not to go with the tower dive on right.
Take the free kill.
You saw the raw rotating.
Take the free kill on the player out of
Carly
position.
dive. I expected a Carly dive from that Thor, and he chose the right decision, which is good for him. Now they're going
It's
to go
all
straight for
about
lefts as well.
Staying in the air long enough, right? And you actually look around you and not just tunnel vision that solo lane. He got in the air and just looked.
Like, this game was even. This game was even until, like, that Gold Fury throw with the Poseidon. And then Poseidon, the blue team have realized they're now stronger, so they're grouping up more. They're trying to fight. They're trying to get picks as much as possible. Even Poseidon's rotating over as well. He's using his mobility, and he's not even losing anything in lane just yet either, which is even crazier. And now he's going to get a Kraken off in the mid lane. Good home bat salt, though, but will it save? I don't think it will.
It was a good double tap by Thor. He threw it through the wall along with the wall to make sure he stunned him again. And there was just nothing that could have been done about that one.
Yeah. I like Kali's decision to go for the tower. She's not there. The fight's over. Just grab the
Gang's
tower.
coming out by the Thor to help the on her a little bit.
Yeah, this on her is getting bullied really hard.
But Apollo saw that. He's going to go in for the dive, you know?
Nah,
no, he's
I don't
not.
think
Okay.
so.
I thought he was going to do his Zapman.
It's not worth it. I mean, he's securing his death for not a secured
Agni
kill.
missed his dash in mid lane on a one-shot Hunbots. That's unfortunate.
No, but going for the dive would be an incredibly, like, you're securing your death if you dive, and you're not securing a kill 100%.
Right.
So that would have been a very, and he's further ahead than the on her. The on her's 0-1. He's 2-2.
Good job of Agni to secure that red buff there and make sure Kali didn't counter jungle that. So who are you guys looking at? We're about 10 minutes in right now and got a little bit longer to go, but who do you guys think are really bringing this game together for each team?
I can't not look at Thor and Poseidon in this game.
Yeah, definitely.
With what they've done so far for their team. Thor, like we discussed, I feel like he's choosing the elements correctly. When to go, because like sometimes you can really force yourself into a bad situation there.
Beads.
Good beads.
Going for them. It was a nice beads and dash coming out from
I mean, that was a great raw snipe too. That was definitely communicated. I'm gonna stun, make sure you raw snipe, and then a great job by Agni to beads.
And the other one for me, definitely Poseidon, because like he's realizing that a tier 1 tower is not as much use as him grouping with his team and putting extra pressure on the map around elsewhere and getting the rest of his team ahead as well. He's done that all himself against Akali as well. That honestly, he does push, Akali early, but then Akali comes back into it and can wave play just as effectively.
I'm very, very disappointed in Red Team's actives right now. I mean, you're 11 minutes in, and we see one Beads, one Aegis, one against such a huge early team fighting team coming out of Team Bakasura. I mean, you have...
And Gold Fury's about to come up with no Hog 3.
Yeah, like... Ooh, I didn't even notice that. The Geb still doesn't have Hog 3. He's 0-3-1. He's very far behind. I mean, but like when I was talking about actives, I mean, look at it. You have huge early team fighting team comp. Thor, Poseidon, Agni, Athena. And also Anher's probably the best team fighting hunter next to Ram. Like, you need to have more actives early. Even if you don't have a rank 3, you need to have at least both of your actives set.
Well, Flashwing only having rank 2 of Hog, I'm fine with because he knows Gold Fury's down, but he should be in base right now just in case because he's got the gold for it.
That was great.
He has to base now because if he doesn't and he tries to contest this, they're going to lose it for free. And I'm going to call that's a big misplay from Flashwing not to be in base getting Hog 3 already. He should have already gone back, and in not doing so, it now means he's a free Gold Fury for blue team. Totally free.
And they're also going to pick the Raw coming in. Just look at the zoning. Like, they're committing a little too hard to kills, though, and it looks like Athena's going to get picked up.
Hollow, though.
Yeah, they committed way too hard to the chasing kills.
Yep.
Like, it was an Athena and an Agni. The Agni should have been there, and the Anher should have been on Gold Fury.
Athena should have dropped it. That's what should have happened. Athena should have dropped it because she knew she was tanking it. She knew she was going to She knew she was the Hog 3.
It's going to be a kill from Yuketsu, too. All right, guys, we are going to take a short break, though, and we'll be right back. Hindu Man, one last thought, though, on these games. Who has been your standout players?
On this one, Thor and Poseidon for sure. I think those two stood out for me more than anybody else. At least during these first 15 minutes of the game, I don't think we have someone available for this one, unfortunately, just because they're already in the next games. But they will be giving out all their information as well about who they thought performed the best. Anyway, we'll be back soon with some more Combine.